Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. And City are firing yet again, and also Erling Haaland. Last season, many might have questioned, was he really at his best? People thinking, are Arsenal going to overtake City this year? I think those worries are put to bed. Another fantastic performance to start the season off now, and putting West Ham to the sword. 3-1 last night. Obviously, Arsenal dropping points as well for misdemeanors that I think a lot has been put on the referee for a wrong reason, but I'll get into that maybe later in a different video or a podcast soon. But Man City are handling business to start the season off. We know them technically previously as slow starters, building into the season, come good come the end of the season. They're hitting that match week 28 form in the first 3 match weeks. They've been fantastic. They're perfect now. Battered Ipswich last weekend. Erling Haaland hat-trick, and he's going to backed up with another hat-trick this weekend. West Ham, a side who, under Lopetegui, are looking to try to take that next step to try and join amongst the usual European customers in the Premier League. And, were really, really hard to break down last night. They made it difficult for City at times, but the class of City makes it look way too easy. I think that's what people just forget. They make it look easy, but it's an you underestimate how much effort and difficulty it is to break down a West Ham side that was sitting quite deep for most of the game. I'll run you through the game by game, sort of blow by blow action here. West Ham, fantastic start of the game. Mikel Antonio could have opened the scoring the first 80 seconds. West Ham on the first sort of 5 minutes got in the front foot, were progressive, using the wide areas, and a ball whipped into Antonio. He just couldn't fumble that ball over the line, unfortunately. So West Ham remained, without any reward for that early effort there, catching City out early in that game there and being on the front foot. However, City back in control of the game. Grealish getting involved, Bernardo Silva whipping a ball in towards Erling Haaland at the back post. He headed over, which was surprising, seeing the form he's been in to start the season off in the 5th minute. But that sort of moment signified the turn of events, and that was where City would control the game basically for the rest of the game, especially the rest of the first half from then on in. The last 40 minutes of the first half was owned by Manchester City. It was Erling Haaland minutes later, though, that found the open in the 10th minute. Fantastic play from Bernardo Silva, nicking the ball off Lucas Paquetá. Was a little bit too casual in possession, nicking it off his toes, running in behind, feeding the ball into Erling Haaland, and from there, the rest is sort of history from there on in. A great finish past Areola to make it 1-0 in the 10th minute. And you know what, at that point in time, somewhat deserved, but West Ham will be kicking themselves because they were their own worst enemy in terms of conceding that opening goal there. Lucas Paquetá caught on the ball, and a sign of things you need to be worried when you invest in Manchester City, because what I found start the season off is they're at the races. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, I talked about it in the first game versus Chelsea in the season. They're pressing, they're energized, they're wanting to get after it and looking very, very dangerous. So you can't be lazy and lax on the ball, and that's what Paquetá was. And Bernardo Silva pounced on that, and Erling Haaland made it 1-0. Could have been a second. Grealish getting a chance to break away after Mavropanos made a massive mistake. However, his shot was blocked. The following corner, though, Kevin De Bruyne nearly produced one of their goals of the season, already playing the corner short, getting the ball back and whipping that ball towards the near post, seeing Areola slightly off his line there, and was forced to make a big save, the Frenchman, to keep the game at 1-0. But at that time, West Ham were reeling. They were really struggling to keep in the game and keep the ball. It was basically Man City with all the possession, all the chances, and you thought it would be about time that Man City would break through for a second goal. Once again, more efforts. Kevin De Bruyne on the edge of the area, a curling effort, hitting the upright there in the 18th minute. But all these chances coming in quick succession of each other, and felt like the pressure was just about to ball and about to spill over. But it would go the other way in the end. It was against all odds type of goal for West Ham. The 19th minute, Jared Bowen making his way down the right-hand channel. He's probably first chance to actually go forward in the game. He's been defending time and time again. Finally gets a chance to go forward, puts the ball into a dangerous area. Ruben Diaz in the end feels obliged to go and stick a foot in, make a challenge, and the ball bounces off his knee and into the back of the net to give West Ham an equaliser in the 19th minute, 1-1, totally against the run of play. Not really deserved, but after the opening 5 minutes, they'll be glad they got something back into that game there, especially considering the goal they conceded was probably preventable in their regard, that they cost themselves. So they'd be happy to get that goal back. With that being said, though, West Ham were back on the back foot once again after the goal. There was no real change in momentum there. And Haaland was able to respond basically instantly. A fantastic goal, ridiculously powerful, precise, and just full of pace. The backlift was probably that big. He had a little backlift, produced all this power from inside the box. Rico Lewis rolling the ball across to him, smashing that ball past Ariel to find the back of the net to make it 2-1 once again and restore City's lead as we move deep into the first half. From then, Rico Lewis could have made it 3 in the 38th minute, but once again missed a superb opportunity similar to what he did against Ipswich last week. Haaland with a one-touch pass to him. He put that shot over the crossbar. And then to start the second half, it was a bit more balanced in many regards. A lot of possession for City, but not much meaningful forward possession. Mohamed Kudus probably had the big chance to start the second half on the counter-attack. After Licker setting one end, West Ham went to the other end. Paqueta releasing Kudus. Little 1-2 with Jared Bowen. And then Kudus' effort came cannoning off the upright in the 52nd minute. And they'd be kicking themselves. They couldn't make the most of that chance there because it would continue to go back City's way. Diaz with a chance. Suchek had a rare chance in the 70th minute, but the game would be won by Erling Haaland in the late moments of the game. I think the 81st minute it was. West Ham's line went slightly higher in terms of trying to chase the game and trying to get an equaliser, allowed Matheus Nunes to skip past the defender, play a perfectly weighted ball, and the run from Haaland was spot on, getting in behind, getting on the end of that ball and finding the back of the net to make it 3-1, to score his third goal and secure the hat-trick. And just to show how good City were, Edison with a save, basically with the last kick of the game to deny Crescencio Somerville as well. 3-1 the result, top of the league. There you go. Unbeaten, flawless in many regards. And they continue to show why they're the best team in England and right now in Europe. All in all, though, what I'm trying to get at, because the first 3 games is their ruthlessness. Man City, as I said, they're normally slow to start the season off. We know them as a team that kicks into gear come late February, and that come the turn of the year. That's when they get their best performances, their best form. But what we're seeing from Pep Guardiola's side is they've hit the ground running. They've come with real intensity, enthusiasm to win games and win them convincingly now. And yes, they used to win games, these big games, 5 goals and 3 goals in games to start the season off. But it's the way they're going about winning these games. It's clinical. West Ham are not having much of a sniff. There was basically 2 chances for West Ham, one with the last kick, one with Kudus on the counter-attack. Both didn't find the back of the net. It was a Diaz own goal that actually allowed West Ham back into the game. And West Ham were defending hard. They were making it difficult as much as they could. You got like Edson Alvarez on, Rodriguez, Suchek, these defensively orientated players. He's sitting in a low block at times. But Man City still find a way. They still find a way to score goals and make it look easy. And I just think it's ridiculous how they're going. And I'll get into my 3 sort of key players in the game. But what astounds me, and I said it after the opening match week versus Chelsea, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, these experienced players, even Erling Haaland, are running and pressing after players and causing pressure high up the pitch. Bernardo Silva goes and does that and nicks the ball off Lucas Paqueta to make that opening goal for Manchester City. So it's not just they're good in the ball and they're a bit lazy without it. They're really at the races where they're without the ball. They're pressing high up the pitch. They're winning the ball back. They're getting the ball going forward for their side. And in front of goal, they don't miss many chances. Rico Lewis is probably the one anomaly. He's missing some big opportunities, but he's been fantastic as well. And we think about what they've done here. Last season, their 2 key players was Rodri and Phil Foden, and both are yet to feature at all, basically. Foden a little off the bench, but in terms of a significant feature, they were yet to feature. Savinho didn't play last night as well. Jack Grealish comes in as a fantastic job. And I said it coming into the season, I had a feeling that would be De Bruyne and Haaland season. The two would link up well. De Bruyne would win player of the season. Haaland would coast the Golden Boot. And it's looking very much like that the way they're going this season. It's the experienced heads doing what they do best. Josko Vardiol just hitting the ground running yet again. Fantastic in his performances. Rico Lewis jumping into midfield alongside Mateo Kovacic and doing a fabulous job of that as well. Whoever they put in any position, they just know the role and they play it to a T. And I think right now they're just levels ahead of anyone else. Like Liverpool and Arsenal are other challenges, but they're nowhere near the likes of City. And I think it was in my group chat and we were talking about City will eventually have that hurdle to overcome. And yes, they will. It's the Premier League. Of course, they're going to have a few tough weeks or maybe a tough result in there. But with Pep Guardiola, with these players, the likes of Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Haaland, even the new guys like Doku, Savio, they're going to find a way to get past these challenges and keep moving forward. It's just, they're inevitable. They are simply inevitable. And the way they've started the season off with Haaland on fire, De Bruyne in great form, Bernardo Silva pivotal, Edison making big saves. It's like, well, how can they possibly get better? Because we know they get better as the season goes on. How can they possibly get better from here? This is a West Ham side trying to challenge, trying to push up the table and make a real difference. Lopetegui in charge, and Pep Guardiola made them look like a mid-table bottom half side with the way they're playing their football. So just simply fabulous for Manchester City. And I think, as much as Arsenal are trying to close this gap up, and it looks bad this weekend because they get a draw and City get a big win, I still reckon mentally that gap might have closed, the ability to go and challenge City and be with City for a long period of time. Arsenal might have got over that mental hurdle, but just the quality hurdle, they're still night and day. It's simply just incredible how City can just turn it on and split a game apart. And they read their moments well, they pick their moments, they're so good in the ball, and what they do is they take away what every team wants to do to them. Some teams want to sit in deep and the like, but City will just limit the opportunity to give the ball away. Or if the team likes to press up the pitch, they'll piece the ball apart. They'll piece the press apart. They'll play in the tight areas. They'll break down that side's press. If a team likes to use the wide areas, City will stretch that area. They will overload the wide areas in terms of defensively. So as much as they do what they want to do going forward, they take away what opposition teams want to do to them. West Ham wanted to counter-attack, but Man City made no mistakes in possession. They didn't give West Ham a chance to go and break on them. It was one chance to break. Kudus hitting the upright. You think about Arsenal, how they want to take possession of Man City. Man City will just keep the ball. They'll just be negative. They'll be sideways. They'll keep the ball and not allow Arsenal to dictate the play. I just think that's an underrated part of Man City's game as well. I saw it last night. And West Ham came with a plan to sit in deep and to counter-attack. And that's what most teams do against Man City. But what Man City did last night was, we know how good West Ham can be in the counter-attack. Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta. When Fulker comes on, you've got a central striker in the middle. They're so compact in the middle of the park. Let's not give the ball away. Let's not be careless in possession. Let's limit the chance for West Ham to go and get at us. And they did that to a T. And then also West Ham being compact and having those key players in the centre of the park defensively. Rodriguez, Alvarez. We saw City utilise the flanks a lot. Jack Grealish looking fantastic. Obviously, you know how good Doku's been, but they utilised the wide areas. So they stayed away from the danger zones and went about that game really, really well. And then Erling Haaland, fabulous, just super far. I'll get into my key players now while I'm talking about it. Haaland, obviously the player of the match for me. I think a 9.6 match rating on SofaScore. It's impossible to get 10 rating on SofaScore. 2 hat-tricks, back-to-back. The second time he's in the Premier League, back-to-back hat-tricks. His first hat-trick away from home as well. 7 goals in 3 games now. 8 hat-tricks total in the Premier League. 21 touches, only the 1.5 XG for those XG nerds out there, but fabulous performance. Just what he does is out of this world. I think that third goal sums it up for me. To kill the game off. Goes a bit early to just stutter steps a bit to stay back on side, curls his run and gets him behind yet again. And makes Matheus Nunes, pass look fat. And yes, it was a fabulous pass, Matheus Nunes, but the way that Haaland said, no, I'm not going to go now. I'm going to curl my run and get him behind. Now you release me. Just makes the pass, it calms the passer down. You're not guessing when they're on or offside. Erling Haaland, it's going to be onside. So all Nunes has to do is get his head up, see the runs about to be made and play that ball. And I think that it's Haaland to a T, spinning him behind the back line, also setting up his opposite numbers. He was there rolling the ball to Rico Lewis with a one-touch pass. Rico Lewis should have found the back of the net, but he was setting up his opposition, his teammates as well. So the Haaland we're getting this year is a complete package. That first goal against Chelsea, the way he just sort of dribbled the ball, took his time, then shot, a sign of improvement. He's not just the fox in the box. This is more what we saw from him in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund, and a complete striker. It's not just a tap-in or just a physical guy. A guy that can set up other players on his side. A guy that can dribble and score goals himself as well. That first goal, fabulous finish. Third goal, fabulous finish. And the second goal for me is Haaland to a T. The ball lands at his feet. Low backlift, limited backlift, but the power and the precision and the pace on that ball. Areola had no chance and a fabulous finish to go and get City back in front. And I just think that's the player he is, right? City... West Ham somehow find a way back into the game. City need a response instantly. They go to Erling Haaland and instantly finds the back of the net. And last year where he was missing those big chances in many regards, I know against United, he probably missed 2 along the season, missed some big ones versus Liverpool, and one versus Tottenham as well. But this year he's not missing those chances. He's finding the back of the net and doing it straight away. And the fact he started so hot this season, the sky's the limit for him. I know Flynn on the podcast said 50 goals this season. He might go and do that the way he's playing his football right now. So he's been fantastic. De Bruyne, yet again, 8.4 match rating, 107 touches, 6 key passes, 1 big chance created. He was everywhere. Didn't get any direct assists in this game here, but was so pivotal to the build-up play, working in those tight areas. and working with this guy as well. Bernardo Silva, 8.3 match rating, 97 touches, 93% pass accuracy, the 4 key passes, 2 big chances created. Got the assist in there as well for that opening goal. As I said, these two guys are live wires right now. They're pressing, they're winning the ball back, they're working awesomely in tight areas, and they're just Pep Guardiola players to a T. They know the system, they're experienced, and with one of the, I guess, the Holy Trinity missing in Rodri, they're filling that role in quite well and doing a bit of everything. And I think whatever's required of these two players, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, they find a way to match that situation. They're so adaptable, they're so workable, they know how to work their way into games. They know the way how to deal with presses or whatever the opposition's throwing at them, and they do it so well. And I just think in this game here, they showed their class, and that sort of front three in many regards, Haaland, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, in a whole world of their own. They were just fabulous from minute one, and they've been fabulous throughout all 3 games, start the season off. So watch out, Premier League, because these guys are coming to tear you apart, because smashed up Ipswich, dominated Chelsea for large periods, and then gone and dominated West Ham, and lucky that West Ham got a goal through an own goal. It's just been fabulous to start the season off for City. That's basically it for the video. Let me know your thoughts on Man City in the comment section down below. Have they gotten even better? Because I think they've gotten and started the season stronger than they ever have across the last 3 to 4 seasons. They're hitting the ground running. Do you think they're easy title favourites, or are Arsenal and Liverpool closer than I think? Let me know that in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Den channel for more videos like these, and press that post notification bell so you know when we upload our podcasts or videos here on the channel. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the upcoming football, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.